Hey guys, Dan here with your Masked Singer guesses for the week, and I was gonna go back down the basement in the really cool room with all the cool movies and stuff behind me, but my camera was out of juice, so I had to put it on the charger, and I can record up here while I'm on the charger. And guess what? I was right on the money with tonight's reveal, so I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted to get right into it. Just finished watching the episode. So let's talk Masked Singer, you guys. Alright, so there's only four singers left. You've got the frog, the kitty, the taco, and the banana. One of them went home tonight, and it's somebody that I said last week for sure, and was pretty close actually with even my first week guess, but we'll get there. First, all four came out and sang Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys, and each one had a separate clue within those confines as well. So while they were singing Larger Than Life, basically the first kind of solo each one had, they put up a little blip about a clue. So I'll go over those two while we get to the singers. So let's go in order like we usually do. So first up was the kitty, and this week for the clue packages they went to some loved ones, in most cases friends, in one case family, that know these people really well. And this one, well, first of all, the clue during Larger Than Life was I'm here to seal the deal. I'm not quite sure how that relates to anything I've been thinking, but the person that we met in the package was a friend of Kitty's, and she said, Kitty likes writing poems, directing horror movies when they were kids, said that she could see ghosts, she's here to slay the competition, and then the friendship bracelet that they all gave out after they sang to one of the judges. This time, the first one, I guess I should say, is to Robin, and it said the word fireworks on it, and she said when she first met Robin, it was lit. So, that could mean anything. It means probably more to Robin than it would mean to any of us. But I've been thinking Sarah Hyland on the kitty thus far, Modern Family, all that sort of things. However, listening to The Voice this week, and then hearing the judges talk, T-Pain was the guest judge who was the winner of Season 1, the monster, I think he was, for Season 1 of Masked Singer. So he's, somebody that is familiar with how this all works. He suggested that maybe it was Christina Ricci. And the song that Kitty sang tonight was Mama's Broken Heart from Miranda Lambert, which is a song I don't know. I didn't know her song last week either, Brett Young's Mercy. I didn't know that either. So obviously she's, either digging deep or I'm just real out of it. I don't know. I don't know a lot of country, so I'm not surprised I didn't know this Miranda Lambert song. But he sort of made a case for Christina Ricci about, the person with the green hair that was her friend in the package had like this long flowing green hair over the face. So T-Pain was like, oh, Christina Ricci was an Addams Family, that might be like a Cousin It thing. And then it dawned on him about the seeing ghosts, that she was in the movie Casper. So, okay, that all made sense to me, but also voice-wise, it makes a lot of sense. I was listening to her voice. I went back and listened to it again after they said Christina Ricci, and I can definitely hear that in there. And also last week in the package, she said, I like, sewing is one of my hobbies. I like making dresses, whether it's a modern dress for a family ball. So they were saying, oh, like Modern Family. And that's the first time anybody thought, as I did, maybe it's Sarah Hyland from Modern Family. But family could also be for Addams Family, of course. And then also in the beginning of Kitty's first package, it was like a burlesque kind of thing. It was black and white at first, then the curtains opened, and then she was in color, which might be a nod to the Addams Family TV show being in black and white in the 60s, and then in color, for the movies. Not saying that the Addams Family is the only thing she's done, but I was looking for clues in terms of like, mermaids or Thumbsucker, some of her other movies, or not Thumbsucker, what was the movie, Pumpkin? So I can't, and I still don't know Red Riding Hood. I can't figure out anything with Sarah Hyland for that. So I'm going to change my kitty guess here to Christina Ricci. I think that sounded the most correct, but I am the furthest, I think, off on her. I was pretty sure it was Sarah Hyland the first 2 weeks, but now I don't know. All right, so second to sing was The Taco. That is who got voted off, so we're going to come back to that. Number 3 was Banana, and he sang Lean On Me. So here we had, in his clue package, well, first, the clue that they gave during the Backstreet Boys number that they all were singing, what's more inspiring than doing laundry? Not exactly sure what that means, but in the clue package, we met 2 of this person's daughters. There was a couple of whoopee cushions in the package before it got to the daughters, which made me think, jokester or something, some kind of comedian. They keep putting us on this blue-collar comedy trail, and I don't think that's it. But this one had like kind of a racetrack motif. There was some jam on the table, like jelly and jam. There was some sort of orange-looking, like maybe marmalade or something, jam on the table where the girls were talking. And then they were talking about how he built a racetrack in their backyard when they were kids. His friendship bracelet went to Jenny, and it said 90s love on it. So, obviously, look, Jenny McCarthy was huge in the 90s. That's when she got her big break in Singled Out and Playboy and all of that. And this all goes along with who I've been saying all along. I don't know voice-wise if I hear it, though, especially this week. But Bret Michaels has been my go-to from the start. And, 90s love, that would make sense because Poison were huge on MTV just as Jenny was sort of ramping up. I mean, I would say they were kind of fading from that because I guess grunge was big on MTV by the time Jenny came around. But, okay, but he has 2 daughters, so that part makes sense. And then also he said something towards the end. The panel asked him, or maybe Nick asked him, why did you do Lean On Me? And he said, oh, it's for my dad who recently passed. That was our song, da-da-da-da-da. Well, Bret Michaels is from like 2 towns over from me. So when his dad died in August of last year, it was big news all over the place. Poison singer Bret Michaels' father passes away from Mechanicsburg. So voice-wise, I don't know, but the clues keep heading me towards Bret Michaels. So I'm going to stick with my Bret Michaels guess for that. We'll see. I mean, the racetrack thing did sort of throw me off. Jenny started guessing some race car people, Dale Earnhardt or Mario Andretti, who apparently she has a friendship with, which would make sense with the bracelet. But I don't know. If it's a race car driver, I don't think I would know much of the clues anyway. So I'm going to stick with Bret Michaels. So then finally was The Frog, and he said, or it said, I should say, while they were singing together, I've opened doors for the biggest artist was the clue. I've been saying, hey, he was on 106th and Park, which was, this sort of BET version of Total Request Live, and he was the host of it for a few years, so that would make sense, bringing new artists to the forefront, opening doors for them, etc. The friend package I didn't really get much from. It was a female that said she looked out for him in LA since he was just a little tadpole. She took him to his first talk show, which was too late for him to be awake for. There was a green bow tie, and then there were like some different colored flowers. I don't know what any of that means. The friendship bracelet he gave was to T-Pain, the guest judge, and it said, all we do is win. So then he was thinking, oh, maybe it was Ludacris, because Ludacris was on that song with him. But I still think it's Lil Bow Wow. The song he sang this week was You Dropped a Bomb on Me, by the Gap Band. Nicole was really leaning into T-Pain and saying, like, hey, we need your help with this. You're a hip-hop dude. Who is this guy? And he recognized the voice, but no dice. He really didn't, other than Ludacris. And then when Robin said it was Omarion, T-Pain was like, oh, maybe it's Omarion. That makes sense, too. So that was sort of useless. Not one person yet in any of these 3 episodes that Group B has been in has said Bow Wow. But I am confident on this one. As confident as I was on the taco, which we'll get to in a second. But I've been saying Bow Wow since the beginning. I'm sticking with it. I don't know what some of these clues mean, but the first 2 weeks clues really make sense. 1996 Olympics, which was in Atlanta, which is where he's from. The $106, that's 106th and Park. Basketball motif last week for Like Mike. CSI on the typewriter because he was on CSI. So, I mean, I don't know. All of that leads me to Bow Wow. I'm still going with it. Okay, now we get to the taco. I can't wait to talk about this because this is one where nobody on the panel any of these weeks even suggested this person. And I've been saying it, well, I started saying it last week, but I was between 2 different people the first week, and he was one of them. So let's talk about the taco. This week, it said in the clue during Backstreet Boys song, I've enjoyed a lot of salsas in my time. So right away I was like, okay, Tom Bergeron hosted Dancing with the Stars, so that adds up, salsa dancing. Then in the clue package, they talked to a friend who I'll tell you about in a second. Menu, they were at like a restaurant, and menu, the M-E was like in bold red letters. So Nicole was thinking, oh, this person maybe has won an Emmy. I thought maybe they were trying to throw us off and it was like initials for something, but then when she said Emmy, I was like, well, Tom Bergeron's won an Emmy, I believe, for hosting. And then in the clue, the friend said that they both help people when they get knocked down. And that to me was, okay, well, this friend that we're interviewing is Bob Saget. They both have helped people when they get knocked down. That's because when you get knocked down, you send your video into America's Funniest Home Videos, and they make light of it, and then they give you some money, maybe. He said about the taco that they both have children, and they both love their little kids. And then at the end he said, hey, so cheers, which people have been sort of saying Ted Danson from the beginning, because in the first week they said something about, I'm in a good place. And then last week, there was Whoopi Goldberg thing in the package, which I forget who the guest was last week, but he was like, oh yeah, well, he dated Whoopi Goldberg for a little while, Ted Danson. True, but Whoopi Goldberg was also center square for a while when Tom Bergeron hosted Hollywood Squares. So, which is something I actually didn't think of last week during my video, but a friend of mine sort of mentioned that to me after the fact. I said, well, yeah, shoot, that makes sense too. So the song he sang this week was Can't Help Myself by the Temptations, Four Tops, one of those. And as last week, as soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, yep, Tom Bergeron. Because I was between Bob Saget and Tom Bergeron, because they both have hosted America's Funniest Home Videos. The trolley in the first package, everybody on the panel was like, oh, trolley, must be somebody from San Francisco, which neither are from San Francisco, but that's where Full House took place. So, okay, the Bob Saget thing made sense. But also Tom Bergeron, which was brought to my attention that first week, which I mentioned here last week, is, the trolley was a Mr. Rogers trolley, and they said as much here tonight on the show when he was revealed, that yes, it was the Mr. Rogers trolley because Tom Bergeron sang a song on the Mr. Rogers tribute. The panel was all over the place with this. They were saying Martin Short, which none of the clues led to Martin Short. I don't know, maybe it sounded like Martin Short, okay, but like none of the clues to me were Martin Short related, other than like, I've been a comforting part of your lives for decades. Well, that could be literally anybody. I mean, like that's not anything. So yeah, boy, all the stack of VHS tapes. Obviously, that's for Funniest Home Videos. So and the panel asked him once he got unmasked, hey, who was your friend? And Tom was just like, well, it was Bob Saget. Like, duh, like obviously. As soon as he opened his mouth to sing, I knew it was him yet again this week. So I'm actually glad he got voted off. Because if it was one of the, like, if it was Kitty and it was Christina Ricci, I'd be like, man, nobody's gonna believe that I actually switched to Christina Ricci here at the third week. But no, Tom Bergeron I had pegged last week for sure. I thought maybe that first week, but I thought there were more clues leaning towards Bob Saget that first week. But no, I was correct on Tom Bergeron. So I'm 2 for 5. Wait, how many people have they kicked off? They've kicked off 6. Let's see. I didn't get Tony Hawk, didn't get Drew Carey, didn't get Lil Wayne. Dionne Warwick, that was obvious. Shaka Khan, I forget if I got her or not. I think I had it down to like a few 80s divas. I can't remember, honestly, if I was on board on Shaka Khan. Dionne Warwick was, I mean, that was obvious from the start. As you know, for me, Group B has been way easier than Group A. You guys have helped me with Group A with your comments, so thank you for that. But Group B, I'm standing strong on Bow Wow for sure, and Bret Michaels. The voice to me with Bret Michaels, I still don't know, but those all of the clues are just, leading in that direction. Especially since nobody in the panel has guessed him yet, so it's not like they're sort of edging you in that direction because the panel's saying it. But yeah, so anyway, that's those are my guesses for who's left in Group B. Very proud of myself for getting Tom Bergeron when nobody in the judges panel did. But comment below. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know. Next week we're going to finally be introduced to Group C, so we'll have the final 6 contestants up next week, and we will find out, who one of them is. One of them are, well, whatever the grammatically correct way to finish that statement is. But yeah, join me next week. We'll go over all of Group C, and then after a few weeks, I guess the top 9 will come together, and we'll all sing. They may reveal 2 per week, because they did that for a little bit in at least season 1. I don't know if they did it last season, but so. Maybe we'll get a couple of double reveals coming up, but so far I'm pretty resolute on the remainder of Group B, especially after hearing the Kitty's voice a little closer this week. Christina Ricci sounds right to me, so we'll stick with that for now. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here next week for another Masked Singer Roundup. Bye.